Hello, Dardine Presbyterian. My name is Cora Taylor, and I work for the foster care agency, Good Shepherd Children and Family Services, as well as for the Ministry of Fostering Faithful Families. I'd like to tell you a bit about that in a minute, but first, I'd like for you to step into someone else's shoes with me. I'd like for you to think about how you'd feel if you are 6 years old. Your whole world is in crisis, and for the first time in your life, you're separated from your siblings. You don't know when you'll see them again, or if you'll ever live together again. How do you think it would feel if you're 12 years old, you've been suddenly taken from your home because of something terrible that's happened? You haven't had the chance to take anything with you that makes you feel comfortable or safe, and you're moved to a home to live with people that you've only just met in an area of town that you've never been to before. And finally, what would it be like to be 16 years old? You've been waiting for years for a family to come and adopt you. You know that if no one steps forward soon, you will be out on your own with no one supporting you. That means no one to go to when you have a question, when you make a mistake, or when you just need some general advice on how to become an adult. These scenarios can give you just a glimpse of what it's like for kids in foster care every day. As I mentioned, I work with a ministry called Fostering Faithful Families. And with that ministry, we try to educate churches about the needs of kids in foster care, especially the need for additional foster families to come forward. There are currently 13,000 children in the state of Missouri in the foster care system. Now, some of these kids go to live with their relatives, but the rest of them need foster families to care for them and to provide the stability that they so desperately need. These kids have done nothing wrong to be in care, and they deserve to have a family love them unconditionally, just as any child deserves that. Right now, the largest need that we have for foster families are for those who will care for children over the age of 8, for those who can care for sibling groups, particularly 3 or more children at a time, and for foster families who are comfortable caring for kids who have some additional challenges, whether medically or behaviorally. There's such a need for new foster parents to come forward. James 1:27 says, "Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress." If you think about the word orphan, it means a child who is without the care or protection of their parents. And that's really what kids in foster care are. They are the orphans in our midst. God calls all of us to care for these children in some way. He calls some of us to become foster and adoptive parents, but he doesn't call everyone to open their home to a child in need. But we can all be involved in some way. And this is where Fostering Faithful Families comes in. Maybe you can be involved in practical ways in your own church. There's just a ton of different ways you can be involved. You can join others to become a foster parent. There are other members of your church who have taken this step, and I'm sure would be happy to talk with you more about it. You could also organize practical support for foster families, doing things like providing meals for them when they have a new placement, or taking care of yard work for them. So you can take some of the things off of their to-do list so we can maintain the foster families that we already have. You could become a mentor to an older child who really needs someone to look up to. You could also work with your church or other organizations to provide drives that give new items, new clothing items, or other things to children in need to help the children as well as the foster parents caring for them. Or you could commit to diligently pray for one child specifically to be adopted and to find that forever family that they deserve. There are so many ways to be involved, lots of creative ways to get involved in this ministry of Fostering Faithful Families. I'd love to talk with you more about it after the church service. I'll be in the church foyer with a display and some materials for you to take home with you and read over. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have and to provide direction to you on this journey that God may be calling you to begin. Thank you.